Welcome back, everybody, to another late to the show deck profile, this time on the somewhat newly released Stardust Dragon. So basically, with the release of the new structure deck Stardust Nexus, we got access to Stardust Dragon outside of his skill. To make up for its still very difficult summoning requirement, Konami also added the skill Shooting Star Road, which lets you start the duel with Junk Converter in your graveyard. This means that with one normal summon of a Junk Synchron, you could essentially Synchro Climb into Stardust Dragon. The skill also allows you to play Formula Synchron on your field from outside of your deck when you do control Stardust Dragon, essentially turning Junk Synchron into a one-card Shooting Star Dragon. Is Shooting Star Dragon worth? I mean, honestly, it's okay. It lets you excavate the top 5 cards of your deck to attack equal to the amount of tuners excavated, meaning that you could possibly attack 5 times with it, but also you could possibly attack 0 times with it. And TBH, that's happened more times than I'm willing to be happy about. Because of this, you do walk a fine line between how many non-tuner techs you're willing to fit in before you lower your odds to OTK with this card. That said, Shooting Star can also negate destruction effects as well as attacks, so it can be pretty annoying to play around anyone not named Karen Cut and bounce to the hands. To prevent the skill from becoming generic and going the way of what grows in the graveyard, Konami requires that your main deck has at least 8 Junk or Synchron tuners, and that your extra deck has at least 4 Junk, Synchron, or Stardust monsters in it. You're also restricted to Synchro summoning Wind Dragon Synchro monsters until the end of your opponent's turn after playing Formula Synchron from the skill, so you can't turbo out a Black Rose Dragon or Quarion on the opponent's turn the same way Flight Control can. The deck I'm playing is mostly copied from the build Yanikovic got top 4 in a recent DLE Battle Phase tournament. Junk Synchron is your main money card, and Converter functions as 3 more copies, allowing you to discard a tuner to grab a Synchron monster. This card cost could be beneficial, allowing you to discard Tuning Gum to gain targeting protection for your Synchro monsters, or Mecha Phantom Beast O-Line to create a level 3 token for Synchro plays. Quickdraw Synchron combos off an O-Line, allowing you to make an easy Junk Destroyer without using your normal summon, putting pressure on the opponent. Finally, techs are dependent on what you're facing more of. I switched on and off between Book of Moon and Forbidden Lands, and found myself wanting both depending on the situation. In general, I feel Book of Moon was better alongside your turn 1 setup, but YouTube hates it when I play Book, so I just put in Forbidden Lands. Lance does help going second, but as people will know you're playing the skill, many rank 4 capable decks go turn 1 Roach, which basically shuts down the deck completely without any text. TBH, in the current meta, I think replacing Hey Trunade with 2 copies of Treacherous Trap Hole alongside Triple Lance or some type of equivalent backrow hate is pretty effective. Coral Dragon is nice alongside the turn 1 Converter and O-Line setup to set up a Shooting Star with Coral Dragon on the field turn 1, a combo you can see in 1 replays later on. I played Ametrix to have a way to deal with turn 1 Saber Dancer, but honestly, it never came up. Some people do play Super Heavy Samurai's Musashi instead to recycle a Quick Draw and O-Line. There's some variability in the kind of synchros you tech in. The deck is fun to play, but it doesn't feel tier worthy. Tuning is probably going to come next week, so it'll be interesting to see how the deck changes with that addition. In the meantime, here's some gameplay. We are going first versus Maui Valentine, and is this what we think it is? It is the Harpie's Hunting Ground 30 card version. That is the big PP risky version. So we're going to go first. We have ourselves a very varied hand as we discard with the Converter the Tuning Gum to get ourselves some target protection ready for our Synchro monsters while adding the Junk Synchron from the deck to the hand. We normal summon that Synchron so we can special summon the Converter from the graveyard going into Junk Warrior, which is going to allow us to use the Converter's effect so we can special summon back that Junk Synchron from the graveyard onto the field. We have ourselves a Synchro Climb for the millionth time as we have Stardust Dragon onto the field. That's going to allow us to activate our skills so we can play the Formula Synchron onto the field and end our turn. We still have a Quickdraw Synchron and O-Line play for the follow-up, and that could put a lot of pressure as well. As the 30 card Harpie deck always rips the Harpie Perfumer, they're going to be forced to pop their HHG. The HHG pop actually would have been able to be negated by the Stardust Dragon. However, the Perfumer chain blocks that, so not like we were going to try to prevent them from popping it, but just a funny little interaction. As they search the Elegant Egotist, they use the Egotist so they can special summon Harpie Lady 1 from the deck, making the Cyber Slash Harpie Lady, setting a back row, and as they prompt the end phase, the end of the main phase rather, we do decide to activate Formula Synchron's effect. We figured if they have anything that's crazy, like they'd have to have some shit basically to be able to play through us right now. They'd have to have like double Elegant Egotist after the initial Elegant Egotist, so they could go ahead, bounce, then get negated, and then have us go into a Malevolent Sin have them go into a Malevolent Sin afterwards just to clear our field. So we just felt comfortable doing this. We decided to go into the Shooting Star Dragon, and that is the end of their turn. And they're going to go ahead now. We rip into Forbidden Lands, which is an incredible top deck. We're going to discard the O-Line to special summon the Synchron, which is going to allow the O-Line to play that level 3 token. They respond with Hysteric Party, discarding the thingy, the Harpist, so they could special summon and then chain the Cyber Slash's effect to attempt to bounce the Shooting Star Dragon. However, we banish the Tuning Gum to negate the Shooting Stars effect. They do still get this special summon from the grave, the Perfumer, as well as the Harpist. Perfumer is going to get the Search 2, which is broken, getting themselves another Harpie's Hunting Ground from the deck, as well as another Elgony gets us from the deck. Now, if they bounce something like the Quickdraw Synchron instead, that would have put us in a situation where we would have been struggling to clear their board and try to go for lethal. However, that also would have meant that we'd still have Tuning Gum in the graveyard, so that would have meant they'd still have to struggle getting rid of our target protection and then the Shooting Star Dragon on top of that. So go ahead, excavate with the Shooting Star. We excavate 3 tuners, so we have 3 attacks. Going ahead, using the Quick Draw and the Mecha Phantom Beast token to make Junk Destroyer, we pop their Hysteric Party, or Hysteric Sign, whatever it's called, which forces all the monsters summoned off of it to get destroyed as well, leaving them with just a Cyber/Harpie Lady, and that's GG easy. We are going second versus Yami-Yugi. This one is a 20 card Yami-Yugi, and they're going to go ahead and activate the Tenki so they could add themselves an Izna from the deck to the hand. They're going to normal summon the common number 3, which is going to allow them to additionally normal summon that Izna, drawing a card with Izna's effect, setting a back row, and in the end phase, the Kama 3 and Izna are going to be returning back to the hand. That is the end of their turn. There's going to be our turn now, and we're going to rip into the Clutches Tuning Gum, which we're going to discard with Converter to add a Quickdraw Synchron from the deck to the hand so that we could then use Quickdraw Synchron's effect to discard the O-Lion to special summon the Quickdraw, activating O-Lion's effect so we can special summon the level 3 Phantom Beast token so we could go and make a Junk Destroyer. No normal summon yet, and now our Junk Destroyer has targeting protection thanks to the Tuning Gum we were able to discard earlier. Junk Destroyer on summon is going to pop that face down back row, which was the expected Yosenju Sword Sting. They're going to reveal the Kama 3 so they could try to bounce us, but we're going to negate by banishing the Tuning Gum from the graveyard. We still have our normal summon, so we're going to go ahead and normal summon the Junk Synchron, special summoning from the graveyard, the Junk Converter. We got ourselves a Junk Warrior, which is going to allow us to pretend like Junk Warrior has an effect, but not really. Junk Converter is going to special summon back that Junk Synchron from the graveyard, so we can climb back up to the Stardust Dragon. That is a level 8 Synchro. That is a Stardust Dragon that can allow us to activate the Shooting Star Road thingy to make the Formula Synchron be on the field, so we could climb into the Shooting Star Dragon. I'll see how many attacks we get this time. Could be the difference between playing around Kite Ride. Activating 1 tuner, 2 tuners, 3 tuners, 4 tuners. So close to 5. Only 4 tuners, but that's still 5 attacks we have total. We have lethal through everything except an Aoyam out of all things. So we pray for no Aoyam. We attack with Junk Destroyer. They're going to reveal the Battle and Boxer Veil. Going to gain those life points back. We're going to attack the Veil, destroy it. We're going to attack directly, and we're going to attack directly. Being able to play through Veil. Now, the only way to play through double Veil or a Kite Ride and Veil at that point was to excavate 5 so that we would have had 6 attacks total, which is a ridiculous thing to even consider. But y'all have all been hit by a freaking double Veil or double Kite Ride at some point, so at least it's nice to know that's possible. Not gonna happen though. Anyway, GG easy. We are going first, activating our skill versus Yami-Yugi with a 20 card deck. We're gonna normal summon that Junk Synchron, special summoning from the graveyard the Junk Converter, allowing us to synchro summon into the Junk Warrior. With the effect of the Junk Converter, we are going to be able to special summon that Junk Synchron back onto the field from the graveyard, allowing us to synchro climb into, you guessed it, we got the Stardust Dragon, which does allow us to trigger our skill to be able to play the Formula Synchron from outside of the deck. We don't have any real interruption from back row perspective, but at least the Formula Synchron is going to allow us to dodge some form of interruption once, depending on what it is. So they're going to go ahead and normal summon the Cannahog, banishing from the deck the Petalfin, activating the Ritual Beast Return to banish from the hand the Winda to special summon that Winda, tagging into the Ulti Cannahog. We're going to return the Petalfin and the Cannahog successfully with the Cannahog's effect, so we could Ulti Cannahog's effect, so we could add another return from the deck to the hand. Ritual Beast Return number 2 is going to get activated, banishing another Winda from the hand to special summon the Petalfin from the graveyard. Petalfin is going to then banish the Cannahog that was in the hand to try to bounce the Stardust Dragon. However, Formula Synchron is going to instead use that Stardust Dragon as synchro material so we can make a Shooting Star Dragon, successfully getting to dodge their bounce. Now, that is the end of their turn, but they do at the very least get to do the setup with a double Winda tag out to at least play for the follow-up. So we're going to activate Shooting Star Dragon's effect, excavating Quick Draw ×2, a Tuning Gum, and a Junk Synchron. That is 4 tuners we just excavated, which means we get 4 attacks. We're going to discard the O-Lion to special summon the Quick Draw Synchron, allowing the O-Lion to special summon that level 3 Mecha Phantom Beast token, so we can make ourselves a Junk Destroyer, which on summon is going to allow us to pop that Petalfin. We have 5 attacks on board, so we're going to go with the Shooting Star Dragon, attack into the Ulti Cannahog, which is going to be able to tag out into double Winda. window. In most cases, battle-oriented decks like these basically lose to double window setup. But we're so battle-oriented, we literally can plow through this, which is kind of a lot. So we're going to go ahead. Attack number 1 is going to destroy window, which is going to float into a Canhog. Attack number 2 is going to destroy window number 2, which is going to float into an Apelio. We're going to attack into the Apelio with attack number 3. However, before it gets destroyed, they're going to banish the Petalfin from the graveyard. Attack number 4 is going to destroy the Canhog, and we have attack number 5, but we knew we'd be playing into Destiny Draw, so we just call it off and don't do anything else. Ending our turn, they're going to go ahead, they're going to rip it to back row, set it, and end their turn. We rip it to Book of Moon. Pretend this is Forbidden Lands. This is just when I was experimenting with Book of Moon. Whatever. I had to play Forbidden Lands so people wouldn't hate this YouTube video as much as they would if it was Book of Moon, because something money. So we're going to excavate 3 tuners with the effect of Shooting Star Dragon. We're going to set the Book of Moon. We're going to attack directly for 3300. They're going to use Canadia, which if this was Forbidden Lands, we actually would have won this turn. So whatever, man. Knowing that we can't lethal this turn, we're just not going to attack with Junk Destroyer, and we're going to end our turn. As they rip into another back row, they end their turn, and it is back down to us. We're going to test in for delays. We don't really feel any, so we just decide to attack straight up. The reason we used the excavation effect the previous turn was because if it was something like a Book of Moon or Canadia, if they wanted to, if we didn't excavate and we only had 1 attack from each monster, they could have taken 1 attack and then gone for Canadian the other one, or Book of Mooning the other one. But since we had 2 attacks from the Shooting Star Dragon, as long as we attack with that first, they are forced to use their flip down effect right away. Otherwise, if they take the first attack, then it's like we still have 2 more monsters on the field after that. So that is my convoluter's way of saying we win. We are going second versus Primo now, new character, and that we know can play something by like Allure by Darkness. That's pretty much the skill that I'm looking out the most for in case I'm playing somebody who's actually playing meta and not just skill farming. So we are going second. We have ourselves an interesting hand. They're gonna go ahead and activate Charge of the Light Brigade, milling themselves a Levi, Duel, and a Dragonhawk to add a Raiden from the deck to the hand. Normal summoning that Raiden, they're going to mill Charge as well as a Lupine, then activate the Dragon Dark's effect so they could add a Dragon Dark from the deck to the hand by discarding the first one. Activating the Dragonhawk in the hand, they're going to special summon the Dragon Dark from the graveyard, and then in the end phase of their turn, they're going to be milling another Levi as well as a Dragon Roar. So, thankfully, we don't have to deal with turn 1 Bouncer, because it would be kind of difficult to play around. However, if with this hand, it would have been really difficult to play around, because we didn't have enough cards to be able to set up our both the Junk Destroyer followed by a Junk Synchron summon. So, we didn't have to deal with it regardless, though. So, we go instead discard with the Converter, the O Lion, so we could special summon the level 3 Mecha Phantom Beast token. Normal summoning the Junk Synchron, we special summon that Converter back onto the field, but we don't Synchro summon using it, not currently, not initially at the very least. As we go ahead and use the level 3 token along with the Junk Synchron, we make Coral Dragon, which then we discard the Trunade that we figure we're probably not going to need in this matchup anyway, to pop the Dragon Dark, allowing them to search a Dragon Roar from the deck to the hand. We then go Synchro Climb using the Converter on the field, so we go and make ourselves a Stardust Dragon. Coral Dragon is going to allow us to draw when sent from the field to the graveyard. Meanwhile, the Converter is going to allow us to special summon back that Coral Dragon. Shooting Star Road is going to allow us to make the Formula Synchron be existing as we Synchro Climb even more into a Shooting Star Dragon, activating the 1 tuner, the 2 tuner, the 3 tuner, the 4 tuner, and we will never get 5. It's impossible. So we get 4 attacks, which is freaking broken. We set both lances because even if they Levi follow up, we can just negate the Levi with the Shooting Star Dragon, and we're feeling good about it. So we attack, and that was lethal through a veil thanks to our 4 excavations. We are going second versus Yami Yugi yet again. You might not see the previous replay that I had did on Fire Kings. That was basically another 30 card Yami Yugi going first, but if you saw it, then great. If you didn't, it's probably not that great. So we're gonna go up and we're gonna activate the Tenki, adding Arvada from the deck to the hand, ending their turn. Arvada Pass is very strong against a monster heavy deck like ours, but we have ourselves a way to bait out the negate as we discard the O-Line to special summon the Quickdraw Synchron from the hand. O-Line gonna allow us to have a level 3 Mecha Phantom Beast token that we use as synchro material so we can make a Junk Destroyer, allowing us to attempt to pop that Arvada. They let the pop go through, so we're gonna go ahead and successfully summon the Junk Synchron and activate its effect to special summon the Converter from the graveyard. We have ourselves a Junk Warrior now, which is going to be used as a Synchro Climb. Let's be real. Junk Converter going to resummon that Junk Synchron so we can go and make a level 8 Synchro monster. Stardust Dragon on the field. That's going to allow us to trigger our skill so we can play the Formula Synchron from outside of the deck. We're going to then make the Shooting Star Dragon. Shooting Star is going to excavate 1, 2, 3, 4 4 tuner monsters. We have 5 attacks total, so we have lethal through Quickdraw or Avail. So we're gonna go ahead, attack directly with Junk Destroyer first, kind of try to play around a potential Utopia raid, not get him into the minus 1000 range, but they battle and box the Destroyer, which means they get those life points back. So we're gonna attack into the Veil, and then we're gonna attack directly. We have some more hits. We're gonna attack directly for 3300. D-Draw and Utopia Ray are both things we have to be worried about now. As they trigger their Quickdraw, we attack directly for 3300, and they tank the last 2 hits we have, basically. If we had excavated 5, we would have had lethal through Veil and Quickdraw. Whatever, I'm not mad, you're mad. The fact that we're just happy that we got through all their hand traps is a nice situation to be in. As they activate their onslaught of the Fire Kings, the good thing about if they went for a Utopia Ray play is that they'd have to commit 2 cards realistically to do so, unless they had themselves a Werewolf, which they have themselves, or a Wolfbark, which they do. But even then, like, it would be very difficult for them to be able to achieve a Utopia Ray while still getting rid of the Shooting Star Dragon's ability to negate attacks. So they go ahead and use the Onslaught to special summon Garunix instead. Wolfbark and summon from the graveyard so they could go into a Malevolent Sin. Wolfbark is going to be banishing the Shooting Star Dragon temporarily, destroying the Junk Destroyer with the Garunix, and destroying our life points with the Malevolent Sin, leaving us with 1500 life points left, and the Garunix is going to get destroyed in the end phase. They're going to go ahead and they get priority in summoning the Garunix before our Shooting Star, which means they get to destroy that the Malevolent Sin and keep the Garunix on the field. Now, if the Shooting Star Dragon would have been summoned first, we would have actually been in a better position being able to negate and destroy that Garunix. So we go ahead, we activate Shooting Star Dragon's effect to excavate, only excavating 2 tuners. We only have 2 attacks, so we're going to go ahead and just do some weird play. We're going to normal summon Tuning Gun so that we could destroy whatever they summon in defense mode, and if they summon in attack mode, then we have lethal with our second attack with Shooting Star Dragon. Destroying the Garunix, they are going to float into Arvada, which does mean that they can go ahead and float back into the Garunix. We do not destroy it. We don't care about them getting destroyed and brought back to the field, so we can just negate and destroy that. So that's what we do. As they summon back the Garunix, we're going to negate and destroy its destruction float. The Tuning Gum in attack position a little sus, but realistically, they're going to summon something with 1900 attack, and that would actually have been lethal. Well, I shouldn't have summoned that Tuning Gum. That was very greedy. I should have summoned the O-line, let's be honest here, because then that would not have been lethal, even through like a Tenki boost. Even through a second Tenki to search another Fire King monster, that would have been 2000 attack, minus 600, that would have only been 1400 life points. So the misplay there was just summon O-Lion there. Regardless, as they realize we're just going to be negating their destruction and destroying them, leaving the pathway open for OTK, they scoop. GG easy, I think. I don't know. So it does look like a mirror match. Should be interesting to see how this match goes going second. So we're going to go ahead, normal summon their Junk Synchron, special summoning the Converter from the graveyard so they could go into a Junk Warrior play. That's going to allow them to activate the Junk Converter's effect so they can special summon back that Junk Synchron, making themselves a level 8 Synchro. They got the Stardust Dragon, Mr. Non-Prismatic Stardust Dragon. That's fair. That's fair. Shooting Star Road going to activate, playing that Formula Synchron from outside the deck, setting 3 because that makes sense as a Shooting Star Dragon player. We're going to go ahead and say hello, Trunade, returning all of those back rows back to the hand, activating our Junk Converter, discarding our own Tuning Gum so we could add our own Junk Synchron from the deck to the hand. Now, they do not have their own Tuning Gum, which is pretty much the difference between us being able to potentially win this turn. So we're going to go ahead, special summon the Converter from the graveyard via the Junk Synchron summon effect. We're going to then Synchro summon into the Junk Warrior, allowing us to activate the Converter's effect so we can special summon our own Junk Synchron. This is a lot of deja vu, so we're going to make our own Stardust Dragon. I swear it's a prismatic, and we got ourselves the ability to Shooting Star Road into the Formula Synchron. We have ourselves the Shooting Star Dragon. I'm going to activate our effect. We're going to activate 1. We're going to activate 2 tuners. We're going to activate 3 tuners. We're going to activate 4 tuners. We have 4 attacks, bro. That's broken. Going to the battle phase, they're going to respond by saying, hey, now it's still the main phase, baby. As they activate Formula Synchron to use the Stardust Dragon, they make their own Shooting Star Dragon. So in this situation, if they negate the attack and get banished, we still get to attack 3 more times because it only negates 1 attack. It doesn't stop us from attacking. But for some reason, they don't know that. So they do negate and banish, which means that we get to attack 3 more times. And head, so they're like, oh shit, I fucked up. So that's a scoop from them. Now, in most situations, it does get awkward when you have to crash your shooting star into their own, because then if they have a follow-up, then you're just sad. But in this situation, we had the Forbidden Lance, so we would have just reduced the attack of the shooting star by 800, and that would have been lethal regardless. So GG easy.